Hey YouTube, it's Alicia here. I'm back, y'all. I've been gone for a minute. I've been so busy at work. I fallen behind yet again, but I'm back here to get caught up. This is the review of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 7, Episode 7. Let's get started. So this week we open up with Erica Jane, yet again, and it's the week of her video for Expensive. And we get to go on set with her, we get to see the whole setup, and the scene they show is her with a bunch of her friends. It looks like a Playboy Playmate type of scene. They're in a bed, they're doing a pillow fight, and as they hit each other with the pillows, money's flying everywhere, and Mikey's really getting into it. He's screaming, yes, yes! And I'm sitting there thinking, is that supposed to be expensive? Like, is that what people who are expensive do? Have pillow fights with their girlfriends? I don't know. But anyway, that's what we get to see about her video concept. Lisa Rinna and Eileen show up because they want to be supportive, and Eileen has this fantasy about being in this video. She wants to be in the video so bad. So she and Lisa Rinna, after the video's done or broke for the day, they are up there voguing on the set and doing the little dances. It was really, really cute. So we move on to Dorit, and Dorit's talking to Jagger, and she's talking about she's trying to get him to start talking, and I wonder what he's going to sound like, because Dorit has a million accents by herself, and then they have all of her staff around them too, and they each seem to have their own accent, so I'm just thinking, wow, this poor boy, no wonder he's confused and can't talk. He doesn't really know what accent to use. So later we see Dorit, she's talking to PK. Dorit's getting dressed for something, and she's telling PK about what happened at the party the other night, about how Eileen and her kind of got into it, and Eileen shut her down, saying she talks too much, which she does. And basically PK said that, she was rude, or Eileen was rude to her. And during this exchange, she says that Lisa Vanderpump is the only normal one, which, who's surprised that she said that? She's obviously her friend, and she's brought in to be an ally for Lisa Vanderpump this season. They show another flashback of supposedly Erica sitting there in all her commando glory and PK sitting across from her talking. And every time they show this flashback, I mean, if you look at the way they're seated, yes, PK's in front of her, but he's not, in my opinion, it doesn't look like his line of vision is level with her goods. And she's sitting there in the flashback with a napkin over her lap even, and her legs together. So I'm really sitting here wondering, did he really see something? Or is he just making that up for a storyline? Because if you remember back at, I believe it was Dorit's party, when Erica showed up in that t-shirt, and that was when PK was talking about how he met Dorit and she saved his life and all that stuff. That was a funky exchange between Dorit and Erica that night. And later on, when PK was talking to them, Dorit was Erica was kind of, in my opinion, rude to PK. He was trying to say how Dorit saved his life, and she just said, well, whatever works for you. And then later on, when he was telling them about how he won a rover in the bar, he was bantering with her, and he tried to tell them that, banter is an English word for, chat or whatever. And Erica says, we know what banter is, and so he took offense to that. He had like a kind of a mad expression. Could have been the editing, but it seemed like she kept offending him. So I really wonder if this is payback from that initial exchange. I don't know. Seems weird, but you never know. It just seems odd that he would come up with this out of the blue. Y'all, it's after work. It's kind of late. I got my little drink here to keep me going so I can finish this review tonight for you guys, because I know I'm late. And tomorrow a new one starts, so I got to get this up tonight if I can. So next we meet up with Kyle and Mauricio, and they're driving to meet Ken and Lisa Vanderpump. Mauricio has a new listing of this big, huge, gorgeous mansion, and so they go out there and just walk around and look at it. And I guess the point of the scene is for Kyle to tell us how proud of Mauricio she is. He's obviously doing way better than he was when they first started in season 1. And she talks again about his successes and his different offices and that type of thing. But she says she's just as happy now as she was back when they were sharing a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was just the two of them and a one baby. She says the only difference is that she worries less about bills now. So we have like an intercut scene where we have Lisa Vanderpump, Ken, Kyle, and Mauricio on one hand, and then we move over to Eden and Lisa Rinna shopping. So Lisa Rinna jumps right in. She wants to talk about Kim. What does Eden think about her, about the other night? Basically, she wants to gossip. So weirdly enough, in this conversation, there's talk about how people try to get Kim to open up and talk about it, or, kind of pin her to the wall about her situation, and Kyle just stays out of it. And even that night when Lisa Rinna was going at it with Kim Richards, Kyle didn't really say anything. I mean, I think initially she tried to shut it down. Well, at the end, when Lisa Rinna said, let's talk about your arrest. Then she's like, all right, let's stop talking, whatever. But during the initial exchanges, she didn't really say much. And that's kind of what they were saying. They have a little flashback, or not a flashback, but like a confessional of Kyle saying to us that by Lisa Rinna saying, let's talk about your arrest, that was unforgivable. And I was thinking, really, Kyle? That's unforgivable? When you can call your sister out on national TV as an alcoholic in season 1. We didn't even know either one of y'all. So what's really unforgivable? I think asking about her arrest is really the lesser of two evils if we really have to, make a distinction or make a decision, because what you did was far worse, in my opinion. The editors show a montage of Kyle and Kim fighting through the seasons, and it's terrible. It's sad. I don't know, but they're sisters too. I mean, sisters fight. It is what it is. And they seem to come back around at the end of it. And this season they're in a better place. And Kim said she's doing well. So, Okay, so here's the weird part of Lisa Rinna and Eden's conversation. Eden, out of nowhere, says that she feels like Kyle has an issue with her, and that when she went over to the party, Kyle was kind of cold and reserved. She said she didn't feel a connection with her. With Kim, yes, but with Kyle, no, which makes sense because she didn't really know Kyle. She knew Kim better. Well, the editors show a flashback of when Eden arrived at Kyle's game night. And to me, Kyle was super gracious. Kyle was just like, well, can I get you to drink? Oh, okay, you don't drink, that's fine. I mean, I didn't see any kind of awkwardness or weirdness between the two. So it makes me feel like Eden is really just trying to start drama with Kyle. And it seems like she's going to, for some reason, team up with Lisa Rinna to try to take Kyle down this season. So we'll see what happens. Now, this could be a very interesting fight, you guys. We don't know Eden. We don't know what she's made of. But we're going to see. Because not since season 1, when Kyle went toe-to-toe with Camille, have we really seen the fiery side of Kyle. We kind of saw it, I want to say last season. Let me try to think. Who was she fighting with? Well, we kind of saw it with Brandy. That wasn't as hot as with Camille. So we do know that Kyle has it in her. So maybe this with Eden will bring it back out. Because Kyle's more interesting when she's actually fighting with somebody else. So Lisa Rinna wants to talk about Kim Richards. She doesn't care about the whole Kyle situation and whether or not there's a relationship problem between her and Eden. She even says that it doesn't sound like Kyle to be cold, and so Eden says she's going to invite Kyle to lunch to talk about it. So Lisa Rinna says that's a good idea. But Lisa Rinna wants to get to the heart of the matter, and she wants to hear, what does Eden think about Kim Richards? And in Lisa Rinna's opinion, Kim Richards is only mostly sober. She's not really all the way sober. And she says that Kyle is an enabler. So Eden, she says she really cares about Kim. She wants to help Kim, but she feels like the way to help Kim is through Kyle. And you guys, I said before, I think it was in the last review, that I really feel like Eden has the same features as Brandy, and to me it really looked like it in this scene. I was just like, she looks just like Brandy, and maybe it was just, like I said, the plastic surgery, but also she's like obsessed with Kyle all of a sudden, and she's decided that she wants to be really close to Kyle, and maybe she can help Kim. Maybe she can help Kim better than Kyle can. And didn't we just see that like 2 seasons ago with Brandy when she became best buds with Kim? She tried to ice Kyle out, and they almost got into blows at another game night. So isn't that bizarre, y'all? I'm like, what is really going on, And another thing, no, I'm just kidding. But what is interesting to me is that Lisa Rinna is asking for advice, and she's saying that maybe Eden can help Kim Richards, and she says to her, well, as a sober woman, I think you are in the best place to help her. And I've never heard that term sober woman before this show. So last week when they brought it up, I started to wonder, is that what they call it? Like, if you're in recovery, they have those different places you can go, rehab clinics. And maybe there's a certain one when you go into rehab, they call you a sober woman. Because it doesn't sound like a term. It almost sounds like ghoulish or something really strange. Like, like you're a sober woman, aren't you? Nobody talks like that in regular life, But anyway, what did you guys think? Does that sound odd to you guys? Or have y'all heard that term before? I don't know. I'm not around that, so I'm not like that versed in the lingo. But I definitely have never heard sober woman before. I've heard I'm an alcoholic, and I'm in recovery, but I've definitely never heard sober woman. And crazily enough, In one of Lisa Rinna's confessionals, she tells us that she's only tried to help Kim Richards. How? When? I've seen her battling out with Kim. I've seen her confronting Kim. I've seen her try to hold her feet to the fire and make her confess she's an alcoholic or a drug addict or whatever her deal is. But I mean, have we seen Lisa Rinna really trying to help Kim? Have we seen her, you know, I don't know. I don't know that I would describe what Lisa Rinna is doing as help, but she seems to believe she's trying to help Kim Richards. Do y'all agree? So we briefly go back to Erica Jane. She and her team have arrived at Mykonos. She has a concert that night, that morning at 3 a.m. at the Mykonos Gay Festival. So her choreographer, no, what is it? Creative director Mikey tells her she's going to be performing in front of 30,000 peoples. What's going on? See, that's why I've got my green tea, y'all. People, 30,000 people, and that she better not mess it up. We learned that Kyle's flying out to Mykonos so that she can support Erica Jane, and so that'll be fun for Kyle. But before Kyle can get over to Mykonos, we have a scene with Eden and Lisa Rinna and Kyle. And Lisa Rinna and Kyle show up together, and all I could think was, as soon as I saw Eden waiting in the restaurant, I thought, oh, here we go. Kyle's being set up, and Lisa Rinna didn't even warn her. I'd be so mad if I was Lisa Rinna. If I were Kyle, like, what? You didn't even warn me, give me a hint in the car on the way over that this girl's crazy and after me, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So Kyle barely even sits down good before Eden jumps in with the questions about Kim and her situation, and then she asks about Kyle's mother and who was the drinker in the family, or how did it get passed down, and how did Kim get it? And Kyle was like caught off guard. She's like, what? She doesn't even know Eden. That's super personal, and for her to just ask all those questions, it was making Kyle a little uncomfortable. At first, she was a good sport about it. She's kind of sort of answering the questions, but then she just finally drew the line and said, look, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And I thought it was highly inappropriate of Eden. Like, you haven't even built up a relationship with this lady, and what gives you the right to just come in here and ask these personal questions? The whole time this whole awkward exchange, or interrogation was going on, Lisa Rinna was mute. Have we ever heard Lisa Rinna mute? No, we've never heard her mute. But she had nothing to say. She just sat there watching, And so Kyle was looking at her kind of like, what's going on here? But, Lisa Rinna was just like, just here for the show. And sadly, Lisa Rinna, she and Eden had this whole thing probably cooked up behind the scenes. We saw a glimpse of it when they were shopping, but she let Eden go out there by herself to hang herself, because I'm sure that her going up against Kyle and talking about such a sensitive subject, this will probably be Eden's only season. So Eden tries to convince Kyle that she's just deeply, deeply concerned about Kim. She starts getting emotional. She says that seeing Kim reminds me of my sister. And so Kyle's like, wait, the one you told us about at the party? The one that overdosed? Like what? Because Kyle doesn't think, and maybe she doesn't think, or won't admit it to us, that Kyle is in danger. Because Lisa Rinna had said that Kim Richards was like this close to death and that Kyle knew it. So I don't know. People don't walk around thinking about their siblings. Maybe they do like that. But Kyle was not interested in going through that with Eden at all, especially at this lunch. So we move on from that awkward scene to another one with Lisa. It's not really awkward, but Lisa Vanderpump and her husband Ken and their son Max. They go to see the adoption lawyer because Max had mentioned 2 seasons ago, really, I think, that he was interested in finding his birth parents. And so finally, I guess they're moving forward with the storyline, and Lisa's agreed to go to see the adoption lawyer. So it's been 24 plus years, according to the adoption lawyer, since they've all seen one another. And while Lisa is looking at the paperwork, she's kind of reminiscing on when they got Max. She gets really emotional, has to excuse herself. It's really touching. So at the end of the day, what Ken decides is that what they'll do, or what he suggested, is that they hire a private detective, find out who or where the parents are. That way Max can find out, if he really wants to meet them or not, depending on their situation. We get a quick scene of Kyle leaving Mauricio and Portia to go to meet Erica in Mykonos. We flash to Mykonos. We see we see Erica Jane with her crew talking about what to expect for the night. And Erica tells us that she tends to stay away from women because they're catty. She says she likes Kyle. Kyle's never been mean to her, but she stays away from women because they're mean. And then we flash back to game night, or not game night. We flash back to when what's her name? Dorit gave Erica Jane those panties. And I was thinking, man, I totally forgot all about Dorit. It feels like it's been forever since I even seen her. And I forgot she was even on the show. And speak of the devil, the next scene is Dorit. She's calling Eileen, and she wants to mend fences or clear the air or whatever. She calls Eileen, and Eileen answers the phone, and Dorit's like, hi, Eileen, it's Dorit. And there is like a 10-minute pause where Eileen is probably thinking, dang it, I knew I shouldn't answer the phone. But you know she's mic'd, and they already prepped her. So anyway, this whole huge, long, pregnant pause goes by, and finally she's like, oh, hi, Dorit. So Dorit tells her she'd like to get together and talk and catch up or, clear the air. And Eileen is with it. She says, great. So then Dorit calls Lisa Rinna. Same thing. They agreed to meet and have lunch. There was this weird scene before when Dorit first was introduced in the beginning of this whole scene. She's standing there holding her son Jagger, and her assistant is ironing. So she's staring at the assistant, like watching her to make sure she's ironing correctly. And then she kind of like fingers the fabric, and I'm like, what is she checking for? And then she's okay, that's good. It was so bizarre. I'm like, really, Dorit? Really? You have a platform, and that's what you want to do with your time? Let us watch you watch your person iron? So the day of the lunch arrives. They meet at this restaurant. Eileen and Lisa Rinna get there first, and then here comes Dorit. And she's all spiffy. She looks swank in her little outfit and her little top knot, y'all. And she comes in there and she starts to talk to Eileen first and address her how she felt like the whole panty gate had been laid to rest, but that Eileen kept bringing it up. So Eileen's confused because she hadn't been just bringing it up, and she tries to clarify, what really went down. Well, Dorit's yapping, and Eileen's getting irritated. But to her credit, I really admire Eileen, the way she communicates, and she just sat there very patiently, quietly. She tried to hear Dorit out, but Dorit never quit speaking. So finally, Eileen had to say, "Can I say something, please?" And so she tried to explain to her, "Look, I was not speaking for Erica Jane at all. I was speaking for myself based off what I saw." And so at the end of the day, Lisa Rinna jumps in and says she didn't feel like Eileen was bringing it up or coming for Dorit. Dorit felt came for, and they were just deciding that she wasn't. And Lisa Rinna says, look, no one here has anything negative or nobody's doing anything with bad intentions here. So let's just agree to move forward and be friends again. So that's kind of how they left it, y'all. They decided to be friends again. So no incident. Next week, we get a performance with Boy George. He's finally made another appearance, y'all. I told y'all, he wants to be a housewife. He's probably a huge fan. I bet you if I go on Twitter, I'll learn all more about, or his Instagram, I'm sure I'll find that out. But I don't care that much. Also, so next week's like the week of concerts. Boy George, Erica Jane's concerts next week. And weirdly, and maybe this is weird to me, Eden goes to talk to Lisa Vanderpump about Kyle. About Kim Richards. And I'm thinking, besides game night, and maybe I've misremembered y'all, but maybe I've forgotten. Besides game night, have we seen Eden talk to Lisa Vanderpump? Like, I'm wondering what precipitates this meeting. That's kind of strange. But anyway, so they go and have a talk. And lastly, what quest is Eden on? Like, what's really going on? I can see your compassion. If you care so much about Kim, why don't I see you talking to Kim? I think we will next week. I think that was another scene we're going to see her talking to Kim. But to go to Lisa Rinna and then grill Kyle and then go to Lisa Vanderpump, it's just strange. I really wonder what she's after. Is it screen time? Is it she wants to be the new villain? Like, really, what's really going on? Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about this week's episode and what you think Eden's up to, y'all. Do y'all think that Kim is really mostly sober? Or do y'all care? I wish we'd leave the lady alone. I think she's going through a hard time. I think that whole situation is probably super difficult. I don't think it should be exploited on television, but she keeps signing up. Whether she's in her right mind to sign up or not, I don't know. But she keeps coming back. She needs that check. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. Sorry again for the delay. I hope to be back on a schedule once I get past this year-end close. If you're an accountant and you're watching this, you already know that means there's a lot of hours for working and not a whole lot for other fun stuff like this. So anyway, guys, please be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe and come back to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!